DJ PK, it is time to welcome back one of our favorite guests. Barry Tramel joins us, sports columnist for the Tulsa World. Barry, good morning.
How's things in Salt Lake?
Good. You're turning into an international star, Barry. PK's coming in telling me I'm hearing Barry Tramel on other shows now.
Yeah, I heard him on the NBA satellite station where he used the example of Victor Wembanyama being able to cover the distance from the Oklahoma City airport to the Brickyard Canal. How visual was that, Mr. Tramel?
Well, yeah, he's something else, man. I guess if I was in Utah, I think he could cover what from the Salt Lake to Provo is about how far his wingspan is. It seems like I don't know how you get a shot.
Go from the Great Salt Lake to Mount Olympus.
Well, there you go. How far is it Salt Lake to Sundance? Is that about 30 miles probably?
Probably close to 45, 50.
Well, okay.
It's not bad.
Just up to Provo Canyon.
I think for a visual, you'd have it from the Wasatch Mountain to the Oakers, because then you could just have him.
East to west?
See, east to west. You just put him right in the middle of the valley with the wingspan out to each mountain range. See, there you go.
That'd be good. That'd be good.
I do think that it's not death by 1,000 paper cuts, but it is he's getting worn down by playing against a bigger player in Hartenstein and Holmgren, and I think they've given up on trying to pull him all the way out into the corner and have someone shoot a corner three, but they're pulling him up above the top of the key now, and even he can't cover everything. I thought in Game 5, the Thunder were able to drive to the hoop quite a bit. They were moving him around the floor, and it seemed to be working for him.
Yeah, when you play somebody like that, it's so foreign. There's nobody on earth like him. Their availability with him has been minimal. They played a handful of games, and you just learn so much in a playoff series. And they've still been good. I mean, the Spurs have done an unbelievable job on Gilgeous-Alexander and really minimized his efficiency. But even Shea is figuring out some angles and stuff, not necessarily to shoot over him, but to get some passes in. He threw Wembanyama came out on him last night, and he threw a bounce pass to Hartenstein, and it was sort of the angle I was right behind on the pass. And when he threw that pass, I thought, he's got no chance of getting that pass past him. But he did, and it's a nice little bounce pass, and Hartenstein had an easy basket. So things are getting a little easier for the Thunder, but that's all relative because San Antonio makes everything so hard on everybody. Listen, I don't know who anybody wants to win this series, but the Spurs are going to win a bunch in the future. So, get ready for a steady diet of springs with the San Antonio Spurs involved in the NBA.
I've been impressed the whole series with Alex Caruso. We remember him coming up with the Lakers, and I think he moved over to Chicago, and they make that trade with Giddey, where he's now with the Oklahoma City Thunder. And to me, he is like that fly in your face that just won't go away, and he keeps landing on your nose or getting near your ear. He's just a pest. How would you describe his game, and are you as impressed? You see them a lot more than we do by how he's been this whole playoff series.
Well, what you see is what you get with Caruso. The difference is the Thunder does an unbelievable job of keeping Miles off the tires in the regular season. They'll sit him all the time. They might not play him a minute in Milwaukee on a Tuesday night, even if the game's tight and all those things, because they just say, we're going to preserve Alex Caruso. The way he plays, well, heck, you saw it last night. He banged his head on the floor and turned his ankle all on the same play.
Yeah.
He gets hurt like that all the time. And they just really try to preserve the guy and then unleash him in the playoffs. He was moderately needed against the Lakers and moderately needed against the Suns. But, they need him. Heck, he might be their most valuable player in this series. And he can guard anybody on the court. He's not a very good career three-point shooter until the playoffs, and now he's got the most 3-pointers in a conference final since Luka in 24. just out of the blue, that kind of stuff happens. So yeah, I remember when they traded Josh Giddey to get him. The rumbling around the NBA was, are the Bulls crazy? They could have got 2 first-round draft picks in that deal along with Josh Giddey. They'd have demanded it. And when you see Caruso play like this, you realize that's true. Sam Presti knew what he was getting, and he would loaded up the truck to bring in an Alex Caruso to this team.
I hold the Thunder in very high regard, but I do think sometimes they play with their food. Guys, just eat. But no, they got to push it around the plate. They have a 20-point lead. It goes down to 8. Yeah. Just blow them out. They were up 3-2 last year against Denver and against Indiana, and they dropped Game 6. Don't let it come down to one game, and anything can happen. Now they won Game 7, so what does it matter? They got the trophy anyway. Do you feel like they're going to play with their food in Game 6 and then beat the Spurs in Game 7?
Well, I don't know that they can. It's awfully tough to beat the Spurs in San Antonio. So they could not play with their food and still lose. But I do think they are wearing down Wembanyama. He's getting tired. There were times last night where I didn't know if he was in the game or not. All of a sudden, watching the game, you think, wait, is Victor out there? And then you sort of look for him, and there he is. And you forgot he was in the game. So they really minimized his impact, which is phenomenal because he's such a high-impact guy everywhere he goes. But I think he's getting tired. Shot a lot of threes, didn't post up a lot. 2 straight games, they've really or really 3, they've really minimized his offensive rebounds. That's where he kills you. I mean, he plays Moses Malone basketball sometimes. He literally twice this series has just tossed the ball off the backboard so he can rebound it and dunk it. So when he's getting tired, big advantage OKC. So that's the key to me is, will Victor return? Because the Spurs, they're fun and they're young and they're tenacious. They're not great on offense other than Victor. Castle's not a great shooter. He's a big force, but he's not a great shooter. Vassell and Johnson go up and down. Fox is limited with the injury. So they need Wembanyama to score. Now, his defense is all universe. Best defender in the history of the NBA is probably what he's going to be. But they need him to score, and he was not much of an offensive force last night.
What's going on with Jalen Williams, man? He's just had injuries the whole season.
Yeah, it's been a bad year. Just hamstring, missed the first part of the year with the wrist that bothered him in the NBA Finals, had surgery, finally gets to play, has the hamstring. Now he's tweaked it 3 times. I actually think we might still see him in this series, maybe Game 6. I don't know. There was some talk that they might try to run him last night. They ended up not doing it. Thunder's shorthanded with A.J. Mitchell out, with Jalen Williams out. SGA is about the only ball handler you really want to trust left. So, he's a fighter. He wants to play, I'm sure, and they would love him to play, but they're a very cautious organization. So, I don't know if we'll see him, but it sure would alleviate a lot of stress off SGA. And the thing about Williams is he's, this would be the 3rd time he's come back from the hamstring this season. And when he comes back, he hits the ground running. He looks 100%. He's jumping and springing and going all kinds of things. So when he comes back, I think he'll be really good. But it's just whether the Thunder wants to pull the trigger on letting him try it.
What do people in Oklahoma City think of the Knicks, and what do they think of a potential final? Or are they completely obsessed with the Spurs in the Western Conference Final, and no one is considering that yet?
Not too much talk about it yet. Some people are fired up about, and I think this would be true of almost any Western Conference team, an NBA Finals against the Knicks at Madison Square Garden would be really cool. The Pacers, great. I love Indianapolis. They got one of the best arenas in the history of mankind, all that kind of stuff. But to go play the Knicks, New York's team, right? The favorite team of New Yorkers, any sport, trumping the Yankees, trumping the Giants, the Jets, all that kind of stuff. In Madison Square Garden, home of Willis Reed, Game 7, home of Ali Frazier, Fight 1, all the mystique, all the majesty, all the celebrities, just the electricity around New York. It'd be a phenomenal experience for Oklahoma. This would be the coolest thing on Broadway since Rodgers and Hammerstein. So, it would be a really cool thing. And that same holds true for San Antonio. If it was Utah, Portland, Sacramento, doesn't matter, whoever. Anybody but the Lakers would probably say, hey, this is really cool. So I think that will be quite the event when it happens. And New York's abuzz about that team. They ought to be. I mean, they're on a historic run. They're very difficult to guard. They've got some defense. So I think it'll be a good competitive finals. It would be a pretty monumental thing for the state of Oklahoma to participate in, I think.
Hey there, it's Wayfair here, where delivery and setup are as easy as a few taps on your phone. You're relaxing in an old hammock, scrolling Wayfair's app, when you spot it, a brand new patio set. Next thing you know, Wayfair delivers it right to your patio and sets it up. Oh, you need a new grill too? All right, Wayfair's got you covered. With Wayfair's Room of Choice delivery and fast expert setup on qualifying orders, life gets a little easier. Visit wayfair.com or the Wayfair app.
Wayfair, every style, every home.
Mom, can you tell me a story?
Sure. Once upon a time, a mom needed a new car.
Was she brave?
She was tired, mostly. But she went to Carvana.com and found a great car at a great price. No secret treasure map required.
Did you have to fight a dragon?
Nope, she bought it 100% online. From her bed, actually.
Was it scary?
Honey, it was as unscary as car buying could be.
Did the car have a sunroof?
It did, actually.
Okay, good story.
Car buying you'll want to tell stories about. Buy your car today on
Carvana.
Delivery fees may apply.
All right, Tramel. I know about Aaron Rodgers, but who's this Hammerstein kid?
Rodgers and Hammerstein, they wrote Oklahoma.
Oh, with Shirley Jones?
Shirley Jones and who's the old boy that played Curly? I can't remember. Anyway, yeah, Rodgers and Hammerstein. They did South Pacific, and they did. They're famous. They're like the Andrew Lloyd Webber of the '50s. So, yeah, they're heroes. I guess they're both dead.
Well, aren't you cultured?
Yeah, but yeah, they wrote. Rodgers and Hammerstein they're big in Oklahoma. I'm serious. The musical Oklahoma was like, it came right on the heels of the Dust Bowl coming out of the Depression, where the Grapes of Wrath gave Oklahoma such a negative connotation, and then here comes these singing and dancing cowboys and stuff, and everybody thought it was great, and it set records on Broadway, and so very, very much revered the guys who wrote Oklahoma.
Oh, bigger than Mickey Mantle, Troy Aikman, or Carrie Underwood?
Let's see, not bigger than Mickey Mantle, bigger than Troy, and bigger than Carrie Underwood. So I put
2 out of 3.
Mickey Mantle 1, Rodgers and Hammerstein 2 on that list.
One football thought for you, because we can't talk to you without talking college football. But I talked to one of the locals here who tracks. There's so much new in football now, right? And they're tracking all these transfers, and they were telling me that the public gets excited. You get a transfer from fill in, the name, Ohio State, Notre Dame, Alabama, whoever, right? Or you get a transfer from San Jose State, North Texas, or I don't know, whatever other small school. And he said that what the numbers are telling him now that they track it, that you are more likely to have success with a player moving up a level or two than you are with a transfer from another Power 4 school. And that made me think, and it's still case by case, there are transfers from Power 4 schools who hit it big, and there are kids who move up and they can't quite cut it. But that made me think maybe Oklahoma State can be back faster than you think, because obviously getting the coach from North Texas, you're getting a big infusion of talent from North Texas, starting with the quarterback. The people should take that seriously, and I wondered if you're hearing anything like that in this run-up to Oklahoma State with a new coach in a new era.
Well, I can tell you a few things. One, Eric Morris is a very impressive guy in terms of trying to build a program, the way he goes about things, the fit, all those things seems A+. Drew Mestemaker looks like the real deal. He's a 0-star recruit. He didn't even start for his high school team in Austin, and just barely somehow finagled his way to walk on at North Texas. And by the end of the year, he's throwing 400 yards in a bowl game, and then did what he did last year. Now he's at OSU. So he's the real deal. People like Bruce Feldman of The Athletic, big on Drew Mestemaker and the Cowboys. Here's what I would say, though. Literally, how would anybody know what Oklahoma State's going to do? Literally. They got 85 new players. 85. I mean, this is like leaving St. Joseph, Missouri in 1869 on a wagon train and saying, this is what we're going to do, this is what we're going to do, this is what we're going to do. You guys had no idea what you were going to do on that wagon train and what California was going to be like when you got there. It's a total unknown. It's like going into space. 85 new players. 45, I hope I hadn't thrown this at you before. Oklahoma State football personnel chart, the staff, coaches, support personnel, medical, all that. They list 45 players. 45 employees. 3 of them were here last year. These guys can't find they don't know where the Walmart is in Stillwater. And all of a sudden, we've got to know whether they can compete with Brigham Young and Utah and Texas Tech and Kansas State. I have no idea. It is, to me, what we're seeing more than a projection. It is a affirmation of what a mess it was in the past. To think, and they're going to be better. I don't think they're going to go 0-9 in the Big 12 again. But to think that Oklahoma State went and got the North Texas coach and 22 players from North Texas, or 21, whatever it was, among their 85 new players, and are going to be better by basically transfusing the North Texas program to Stillwater. What an indictment of what happened in Stillwater these last 2 years.
Yeah, shocking.
Letting go of the rope. Mike Gundy was phenomenal forever, but then he just, I don't know what he was doing. And if you bring in 85 players, guess what? You lost 85 players. So, some were seniors. They probably had 10 or 12, 15, whatever. So let's say the 70 players that they've lost, 3 or 4 of those guys have landed in power conference rosters. So they didn't have any ball players. North Texas had some ball players. So OSU is going to be better. Mestemaker is a potential star. They got wide receivers, and Morris knows what he's doing. So they're going to be better. I'm hard-pressed to believe that they could compete for a Big 12 title, or even really the upper tier of the Big 12. That just doesn't seem likely to me. I really don't know anything about these guys. They had their spring game the very same day as Oklahoma. I went to Oklahoma's spring game, so I didn't even get to see them live, which I would love to have seen them. But, we're going to find out quick. They play Oregon week 2. So Oregon will be, they'll be locked and loaded. So, I would tend to put OSU in the second division of the Big 12. I think about an Indiana transformation happens about once a half a century, and we've already had ours. So we'll see, though. We'll see. How's the Cougars and the Utes looking?
Great. They are.
Hey, when people ask me surprise team of 26, who am I picking? I throw out BYU every time. I say they got a culture. They got a bunch of players back. They got their quarterback returning. They've been good.
Yeah.
They don't have 85 new players.
No.
I'm bullish on BYU.
I think you should be. I mean, they've won double-digit games the last 2 years. They've got their quarterback back. They lost Jay Hill, and the cornerbacks coach went with Kyle Whittingham to Michigan. And a lot of people are interested to see what's going to happen with that defense because Jay Hill came in. He's just a local guy all the way. Was
this guy from Weber, right?
Yes.
From Weber State.
Yeah, he played at Utah and coached at Utah under Whittingham, and then goes to Weber, resurrected Weber. That made them a literal national power, and then goes to BYU. BYU paying 7 figures, which they normally hadn't done, to get an assistant coach there to run the defense. The defense had been awful, and it transformed. Now he's gone. I've heard some people say, oh, man, that Kalani Sitake's success, he owes a lot to Jay Hill. And there was somebody down there who was willing to let Kalani go to Penn State because he figured, well, I got Jay Hill sitting right here. Turns out it didn't work. It didn't happen that way. Some other people got involved, but that was the line of thinking. So Jay Hill is highly regarded, and Kyle scoops him up and takes him to Michigan. So we'll see how the defense is. But the recruiting has picked up. They're on a high right now, so I have no problem with you being bullish on BYU football.
Yeah, I'm actually more – Big 12 seems more predictable. It's the most unpredictable conference we've had for this decade.
Yeah, last
but
2 years.
It seems more predictable maybe than the other leagues because so many of the traditional quality programs that you figure, well, they're going to be good. Well, Oklahoma State, we know about. Iowa State's totally wiped out. Kansas State got hurt bad in the portal. Now, maybe Colin Klein's rebuilding quickly. I don't know. But Tech, BYU, and I assume the Utes, I think those are pretty dependable. So that's the way I would see the Big 12.
Yeah, Utes should be fine this year too.
Yeah, Cincinnati's not going to be very good, and Central Florida is just treading water, and West Virginia is still not back, and TCU, who knows? I don't know. But
TCU and ASU.
I throw both favorites on the schools.
You like ASU? Yeah.
Yeah. And
I'm
Arizona.
Worried about the quarterback.
Yeah, I think they got a coach who's pretty good with quarterbacks.
Yeah.
All right, Barry.
But it'll be fun.
Yeah.
It'll be fun.
We'll leave it right there for now, and I think you need to start
spreading the news.
Start packing your bags, start spreading the news. You're not leaving today.
I'm not leaving today. I think I'll wait until they actually get to 4 wins.
Yeah.
In this series.
Yeah, well, the series, the finals doesn't start till June 3rd, I think.
Well, check out the flights and the hotels. You can at least do that.
I've been doing that, and and I will. Next time I'm on with you guys, I'll come up with another good piece of Oklahoma culture.
Okay. We look forward to that.
I
got to tell you, you guys stunned me. And when you now who's Rogers and Hammerstein? Literally in Oklahoma, you don't have to. Nobody asks that question. Everybody knows. Everybody knows. Richard Rogers and Oscar Hammerstein. I know their first names.
Oh, wow.
Rogers, Oscar Hammerstein.
Well, now we'll do a segment on famous Oscars. So there you go.
Oh, that's a good one.
Oscar Schmidt, Brazilian sharpshooter. Oscar Mayer.
He died the other day. Did you see that?
He did, yeah.
He died just the other day. Oscar Gamble with the massive
former
afro.
Padre and Yankee. Yes, I remember him.
Yeah, and of course, Oscar Robertson's the best ever.
Yeah, the big O.
But Oscar, not Felix Unger and Oscar
Madison.
Madison. That's right, from The Odd Couple.
I got your culture right there.
Yeah. That's right. Jack. Okay, who do you like? Jack Klugman or Walter Matthau?
I'd go with Klugman.
Yeah, I'm more familiar with Klugman's portrayal there. Walter Matthau's an epic. You say Walter Matthau, I think Bad News Bears. There he is in the dugout.
Grumpy old men.
Yeah, grumpy old men. He's good in that too.
The Odd Couple is like MASH. The TV show is better than the movie, which is very rarely the way it works.
Yep. Barry, we appreciate it as always. You're the man.
All right, see you guys.
All right, there's Barry Tramel talking a little Thunder, talking a little college football, and then a little pop culture. That's why we love having Barry on. He can cover all the bases. When we come back, everything you missed in this show. We had Mike Folt on earlier talking Stanley Cup final. And You're picking a new quarterback. Patrick Mahomes back in
and
the
there's
news.
just simply no way Rodgers and Hammerstein are better and bigger than Carrie Underwood. I draw the line right there.
DJ and PK, stay with us.
Hey, real quick, since you didn't pay to skip ads, we're going to assume that you like to save money. And for the sake of this ad, we're also going to assume that you have a cat or a dog. Okay. Lemonade Pet Insurance can save you up to 90% on vet bills. You definitely know that vet bills can pile up fast.
Ouch.
Which is why Lemonade settles half of all claims instantly.
Super fast.
And we definitely know that you just want to get back to whatever it is you were just listening to. Which is why we'll also settle this ad, like, now. Get a quote at lemonade.com/pet.
Summer is all about freedom, fun, and growing up. And between the ages of 9 and 13, kids are starting to form their views about alcohol. With more independence, their still developing brains need more guidance and support than ever. That's why summer is the perfect time to stay connected and plan fun, safe family activities together. Research shows kids who spend quality time with their parents doing what they enjoy are less likely to drink underage. And when kids feel close to you, they're more likely to listen, especially when you set clear expectations. In fact, kids who drink before 15 are far more likely to struggle with alcohol later. This summer, create a no-bummer summer with fun, alcohol-free activities for your kids. Go to summer.parentsempowered.org to take a quick quiz and discover ideas tailored to your family. A little time together can make a big difference. For more information and to learn more about how to prevent underage drinking, visit parentsempowered.org.